Consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar are considered routine or implemented earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested by the council member, citizen, or staff. Any action on the consent calendar? Irene?
Through the chair, I'd like to pull 7E, please.
7E, all right. Anyone else?
Through the chair,
Michael?
I'd like to pull 7G.
G?
If there are no other items, move to approve the rest of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion to approve on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, adopt a resolution amending the city classification plan by adopting position descriptions for fire battalion chief, fire captain, and firefighter positions.
I'm sorry, that's F.
No, it's E.
No, it's E.
Well, my
This
E
is a
is
draft.
approved
We've walked
contract
in.
with the San Mateo County
Calendar sent to me.
Housing Department. Do we have a different?
Yeah, I do. I do.
I have the same as.
I was.
Oh, okay. My E
I was
says.
sent the draft.
I know. I have your E.
Okay.
All right.
My E says.
Let's try E again.
Okay.
Adopt a resolution approving contract with San Mateo County Housing Department for $63,000 in block grant funds to make accessibility improvements to library, meeting room, restrooms.
Thank you. I pulled this to compliment staff for being so aggressive getting the grants that make the improvements to our city. Not only the library, park and rec, and community development, but also the public works and almost every other, police, fire, every department, even though that's a county council policy to be aggressive in getting grants, you people actually do it, and our city's so much better off because you do. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and thank you all.
Through the chair, just to add to that, this was a grant for $63,000, and that coupled with the previous grant of $78,500, that's over $140,000 in free money, to make these improvements. So, my compliments also to staff.
Okay. Action on item G. I'm sorry, E.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second on the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Item G is adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a backup generator from Cummins West in the amount of $42,758.75. Michael?
Thank you. I spoke earlier with the city manager regarding this item, and Connie, I don't know if you had a chance to respond. I didn't get a chance to check email later in the afternoon. I did get responses on the other items, and so thank you for taking care of those. But regarding 7G, do you want me to go through my questions?
But I'd be happy to go through them, and we have Al Johnson here ready at the mic in case I misspeak or if there's any additional information. So there were 3 questions. The first had to do with whether the cost of a portable unit might be more expensive than a stationary unit by virtue of the potential that it needed to be more robust in order to be able to deal with the wear and tear of potentially being moved. And although the staff was not necessarily looking for portability as part of this purchase, the portable unit is actually less expensive in that it does not require the installation of a pad or a foundation in order to install the unit. And the staff was able to acquire a unit with a significantly larger capacity and portable for a lower price than we would have otherwise received, and which would have otherwise met the minimum needs of the facility. Second question had to do with the page that you see that's attached to the staff report, which is out of our capital improvement program budget, and it identifies a $531,000 cost for cable television equipment as part of our capital budget. A generator is not listed among those items, but it is an essential purchase, and it is one that staff does not anticipate will increase the overall cost of equipment purchases for the coming year. Unfortunately, that item is now a fairly urgent priority, and it's one of the things that we believe is most important to stabilize the continuous operation of our facilities. But again, should not affect the total budget or the need, should not require additional funds. I'm going to let Al Johnson respond to the third question, which had to do with energy efficiency and what staff has done and how this, in order to evaluate energy efficiency and in operation of our head-end facility, and how this generator unit might affect the ability of the system to operate cost effectively.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I believe the question was the load as the generator turned on was one of the questions there. We do have a standby backup power supply, which when the power cuts off, this standby power supply maintains the power for about 5 to 10 minutes while the generator kicks on, gets stabilized, and switches over, so there's no extra draw on the generator. And the generators have been sized to, we only run it at 75% max of the generator. So if there is a little extra current, it has plenty of current to handle the on and off. That goes the same thing when the power comes back on. The UPS mains holds it while it switches the transfer switch over, and it runs for about 10 minutes while the power stabilizes, making sure the outside power does not cut off and on. So it runs for a good 15 minutes and maintains that power. The rest of the head end, the air conditioners, we just put new air conditioners on about 2 years ago, which were at the time were one of the best energy savers that we have. And we also installed a whole house fan in case one of the air conditioners go out. In this weather up on top of the mountain, it's fairly cool, so the whole house could bring out that 50-degree weather into the head end, which will help cool it off. So we're lucky we're in a situation, climate we are in. It doesn't get that hot very often up there.
Okay. Thank you. And when I was talking with the city manager about some of these things, the topic came up about overall efficiency of the equipment that's up there and the facility itself. I've been up there. It's been a while, but I know it's a pretty the facility's been there for a while, and I don't know if there have been opportunities to evaluate how efficient the overall infrastructure is, and if there was anything we could do to perhaps cut the amount of energy that's used in that facility.
We have been looking at it. We just received a new building from Nextel Sprint. They were leased our tower and had a portable building up there, and we just received that. They were deeded it over to us for no cost. Actually, we got a couple of dollars for it. And we're going to be looking at moving some of the equipment out of the main building into that to take some of the stress off that main building. Mm-hmm. And we're in the process of working with that now. This new generator that we're getting is big enough to put the standby on that second building too. So that will be fully backed up too.
Okay. All right, thank you. And the other question was just a minor question. What is the expected lifespan of the new unit that's being brought in?
Well, we have two ONAD generators, which is basically the same engine, and one's been going over 15 years and one was 25. So I would say another good 15 years or more on this one that we're purchasing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair. I just had one quick question. Would we not have items like this or similar to having an equipment reserve, so we have monies that are allocated on an annual basis, so when we have a purchase that may be needed in 10 years from now, another generator or something to that degree? We've talked about it years ago. There was some apparatus that needed to be replaced, and we discussed possibly putting some of these items on equipment reserve so that we pay as we go per se, so when we need it as we do in the other items.
I don't know the answer about what equipment is currently reserved, but we will certainly take a look at how these generators can be incorporated into that program.
Thank you.
Action on item G.
I guess I will move to approve the final item.
Second.
Motion second on the question. All those in favor?
Aye.